Howdy everybody, it's Amy here from Amy's Sparkly Diamond Painting, and this tells you what this video is going to be about. So I have a cross stitch to share with you. Actually, it's a couple cross stitches to share with you, and this is from a brand new company, but it is affiliated with Painting Fairy. You're probably starting to see the videos pop up on all of your favorite stamped cross stitch YouTube channels, but there's some good news here. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to work out. I hope this company works out, because not only do we have stamped cross stitch, we have counted cross stitch, but even more importantly, they are working with artists. So they are getting licensed artwork and working with a lot of Etsy designers actually, and printing their work as stamped cross stitch. But you can also buy the kits as counted cross stitch. So if you're watching this video through Floss Tube links and all that, and you are a counted cross stitcher, you can order from this new company and get counted cross stitch. So you'll have a choice of 11, 14, 16, 18 count, either stamped or counted, so you have several options to choose from. And I would call the cross stitches at this shop to be a little bit more what I would call modern cross stitch, in the sense that these aren't large full coverage pieces. They do have some. They are affiliated with Painting Fairy, so they do have several of the Painting Fairy cross stitches on there as well. Many of them have Chinese art themes and are very large and have full coverage, lots of stitches. But a lot of the designers on Etsy they're a little more what you see in the US, I guess is the best way to say it. I don't want to say that they're US or American or anything like that, because they may not be, but they are a lot of the cross stitches that we see here in the US a little bit more often. So if you don't like the giant full coverage pieces, you may have more luck with this company. So shall I just show you instead of just talking? So this is the company 121Stitch. So I know many of us here in the US shop our supplies and kits from 123Stitch, which is a warehouse in Dallas, but this company is 121Stitch. So their boxes are green, and so they do ship like Painting Fairy, where you do have the cardboard box, and then inside you have your kits protected in a second box, which has all the instructions and information and everything about the company on the back. And here's the front, really pretty box with a nice kind of subtle design here in the background. But I did, when I first was contacted about this company, I wasn't sure what to think. So I thought that they looked like they were doing a lot of the same things as Painting Fairy. So I did reach out to Painting Fairy and ask about them, and they said yes, indeed. They are working with them. Painting Fairy is doing the printing for them, and they did stand by the company and had good things to say. So I thought, well, okay, I'll give it a try. So I did get this as a product review package. It is my first one from this company. I will have, just like Painting Fairy, I will have an affiliate link below that you can use to shop, as well as a discount code, and I will get a commission on those sales, which can help me get more content for you all. So I will reveal that right away, but let's break in. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me talk about this company, and see what we have. So like I said, a lot of these artist names that show up on there, many of them are Etsy designers, so the names may not sound familiar to you, but many of them I think will, because I'm seeing a couple that I recognize, which is a cool thing. Oop, I just threw the box on the floor. I'm trying to remember the name. Well, we'll get there, because I did place a couple more orders. They're adding stuff almost every day, and I know that Nim over at Nim Crafts did a little video and an unboxing of her choices, and she said she actually contacted one of the artists to make sure that they were actually getting paid for them, and the artist did indeed confirm that they are working with Painting Fairy. So let's see what we have here. You'll notice that the toolkits and everything look a lot like Painting Fairy. Oop, there's, no matter which way I see it, which way I turn it, you're going to see it. So we do have the information about Painting Fairy floss because these are printed by them. They use the same 100% cotton floss that works like DMC. We also have the same symbols here, the same codes and characters for the different types of stitches, and the same washing instructions. So you've seen these many times with my Painting Fairy kits. And we also do have a sample here of floss, and we got a pretty blue one this time. I'm really going to build up my collection by just getting a lot of samples from all these. The opening spot is tricky to find sometimes. There it is. So here is the information about the company and the thread. You can read all the details there, but here's the floss, and this definitely does feel like 100% cotton DMC equivalent floss. So very, very strong. So far I've had no trouble with breakage or with fraying on the Painting Fairy floss. So very, very nice. Our toolkit, it has a slightly different colored bag here, but we do have a lot of the same things that we see in the Painting Fairy kits because they are associated. So we do have our really nice gold scissors. I'm getting a lot of gold scissors. That means I'm making too many orders, but here we have our nice heavy-duty gold scissors. We can spread them throughout the house, and actually what I was thinking of doing was putting a pile of them together to donate to our library. We have a maker space downstairs in our library, and they do crafting each month down there, so I may do a donation to the local library. We also have our finger guards here that can protect your fingers from getting poked by needles there, so those work pretty well. And they do, because they're silicone, it makes it just a little bit easier to grab the needles. And then we have our little floss winder bobbins here that you can hold floss and fold it over to seal them in there and write the number with a Sharpie on there for whatever color you use, or you can use them for parking threads. So I do both. So we got 3 of those, getting a big collection of those too. And then we have our needles here that come with the kit. Now these are kind of a medium-sized needle. They're, let's see, these say 28. I'm not really sure they are size 28 needles. I'll have to try to find a comparison because I'm not sure that that number is the actual count of the needle that these are, because they look just a little bit bigger to me. I tend to prefer the small sharp needles. They are sharp and they are about the right size for me, but I can also go, and sometimes do go, a little bit smaller if I do have to pierce Ida cloth for partial stitches and stuff like that. But I usually don't go bigger because I don't like the really dull end larger needles there. So they are medium size. So if you have your own preference for needles, they do sell actual needles of all different brands and stuff on their website as well. So again, this is 121Stitch, which we will see here on the label. So let's get into our package here. I have 4 kits in here, and I tried to kind of pick some smaller to medium sized ones that I thought you might be interested, but also stuff that I'd actually want to stitch. And they did throw a free one in that you'll be seeing probably on several channels. So I'll put the free one aside. We'll do that one at the end. But we'll start with this one because it's really cute. So there is a whole series of birds on there. And I love the words on this. It says, "Warning, I'm bored. Things could get dangerous." So at the time that I made my first choices, when I first picked my cross stitches for this first PR package, they didn't have as many options, but I did find plenty that I liked. But they have a lot more. They now sell a bunch of Painting Fairy ones as well. But this designer is Free Stitch, so you can find a lot of these on Etsy or on other pages if you Google them. We have a stitch count here, 142 by 111 high. I do like on their packaging that they include that information, and then they also check which count it is. So with the Painting Fairy, I usually have to look at the actual fabric at the top to see exactly what count I ordered, because I don't always remember with so many different orders going from different places. But on this, they did add this information here on the package, which can be really helpful when you're kind of flipping through several kits trying to figure out what you want to work on. So I do like that. So we do have the designer as well as the count size on there. But isn't he cute? So I've ordered more birds from them because they keep adding them. So this is a little bit smaller one here. So we have a little bit smaller pattern here. And just like the Painting Fairy printouts, they have this first page that shows all the different colors here and the symbols. And they show any other special stitches. So this one does have a French knot there with one strand of 310. And we have two different colors of back stitch there. That's actually both 310, but one is one strand, one is two strands. And then we have some back stitch here for white color 3865. And then we have a few blends, it looks like here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 blends for a total of 50 different symbols. And actually it's not quite that many, because these are taking up spaces here for the French knots and back stitches. So if you subtract 3 of them here, that makes 47 different symbols on there of cross stitch. So here's a small portion of the chart, because this is a licensed artwork chart. I don't want to show the whole chart, so you can purchase it instead of take a screenshot of my video. That's why we don't show full patterns on here, but you can see there is quite a bit of back stitch on here. I love the color printing on this. It makes it much easier for me to see. We've got some different blue backgrounds, pinks, yellows, greens there. So really, really easy to see the contrast from one symbol to the next there. So it looks pretty easy to read. And you may be able, if you don't want to wait for something printed and you want to get some of these charts just downloaded as PDFs that you can start on your own with your own supplies, you can check for these same artist names on Etsy and support them that way as well. But this way you get all the supplies you need, and especially for me at least, the printing. And this feels really, really nice because this is a little bit softer. It's nice and soft. It's not really, really stiff. And that may be partly because it is an 11 count. So here we go. We've got their branding at the top. I like how it fades to green there. We have the name on there. This one is called Sarcastic Bird. I'd say definitely he's a bit sarcastic, but you'll see a lot more partials on the website. They have a lot of Halloween designs. I just ordered a Christmas design, and I posted about that Christmas design as a community post the other day. It's a couple different designs they have of Christmas cookies that they put on a sale price. So really cute Christmas designs. But we have the back stitch words printed on the fabric, so that's really, really nice. So the background is not stitched. This one is just this area, but you can see on 11 count, I figured 11 count would be really, really easy to see. So a lot darker. It's not the really pale printing there. You can see all the different colors and the high contrast really make it easy to see, but I love how soft. I wish I could show you to where you can see that the way it bounces right back there. This is soft fabric, and yet it still has a really sharp printing on it. Really big borders, which is another thing I love. I mean, this top border there, that's huge. So plenty of room, especially since the background isn't stitched. So really it goes from here to here and here to here. So we got lots of extra fabric on this one, which will give me more options on how to finish it. And another thing that we've noticed so far from those of us that have gotten these packages is that even with these smaller kits, we're getting the plastic cards. And even if you only have 1 or 2 colors that go beyond the 30, they will give you a whole second card for them. So really, really nice here. They're yellow, and they do have all the different colors on here. And just like Painting Fairy, they tie them in a bow for you. So these are done by DMC number, which I also like to see. That's really, really good. So we have all the different colors for this one, and since it is a very rainbow bird here, we're going to have a lot of rainbow colors, as you can see, with the reds, purples, blues. I won't list all the colors here because we'd be here forever since we have a few different ones to look at. So that is our first one. So really excited to see some of these designs that are a little bit smaller, but a lot of the same stuff that you can buy here in the US. So let's look at our next one here. And that is the one that you may have peeked at and have seen when I turned over the package earlier. We have a lighthouse with mushrooms. I thought that was really cute. And because my August vacation was full of lighthouses, I thought that was appropriate. And I thought it was funny to have them next to giant mushrooms and the little houses there. So this one, same designer. I tend to gravitate toward the same designer I found at this point. But this is a 117 by 120. But on this one, I chose a 14 count. So I was trying out some of the different stitch counts here. So I, again, like that they have all that information right there for us to see. So we do have the fabric, we have the floss, and we have our chart here. So this is another smallish one. So we only have 1 page here, it looks like, of symbols. We have a list of 43 different colors. 2 of them are blends, but a couple of these colors here are just 1 strand or 2 strands of backstitch there. Same with up here. So it looks like I can subtract 5 that are just backstitch. So that makes it 38, and this one looks like it's only got half stitch there, but 38 different symbols on there, and we'll see how many DMC actual colors when we look at that. So here's our little sample there of the chart. So there's the lighthouse, and you can see because these are designer cross stitch, artist cross stitch, you can definitely tell based on the amount of backstitch. So that is one of the things that you definitely will see with designer type cross stitch, where a human has been in there, is that you see all the backstitch in there that typically you don't see it with computer rendered designs. So that's one of the hints you can look for there. A lot of partials and a lot of backstitch on that. So hold on just a sec, my kiddo's trying to reach me, so I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. My hubby went to pick my kiddo up from work and she was calling me, so I had to make sure everything was cool. It was about a brand of pizza, so all is well. But I think when we left off, I was talking about the way you can tell that these are made by artists is the backstitch, because that has to be human done. I'm not sure there are any automated cross-stitch software out there that will create backstitch for you. So let's take a look at the canvas here. This one feels a little bit stiffer because this is 14 count instead of 11 count, but it is also a little bit smaller design wise, but I think the stitch count here is 142 by 111 versus 117 by 120. It is just slightly smaller, and as you can see, again, we have a lot of border around here because even within here you can see there's no stitching here on the edges. So another big border one. This could be made into a pillow or something like that. But you see here is the design without the back stitch put in. That's interesting because the bird did have not any of the back stitch where the cross stitches were, but they did print the back stitching out here where it's in the empty space to make it easier to count. But on this one, because there are no words or anything here in the background, there is no backstitch printed on it, which is easier for me. I prefer that because it doesn't make the symbols here for the cross stitch part really messy. I prefer to just use a chart for the backstitch. I think I'm used to that by now. And actually that's how we did it before stamp cross stitch like this on Ida cloth came about. So you can see, even though it's a small design, there's a lot of colors in here. So it is going to be a little bit more detailed and take a little bit of work there. But I like the small size of this one. And with that, we've also got the colors here. So we can take a quick peek and see how many DMC colors. So each card will hold 30, so we have 35. It's harder to tell with the blends and everything unless you go through and count and read the chart. It's easier to just count how many holes are taken up on your floss cards here. But we do have the nice hard yellow cards here, DMC number in order. And so there's our extra 5 beyond the 30. So we've got a lot of extra spaces here. I use these to write in the blends. If I have a strand of blend that I didn't use it all up, I will tie it on here and write the numbers on it to keep track of what is what there. So we have, again, another set of rainbow colors with this one. I keep saying again. I'll have to stop that. But we do have a little bit more rainbow colors with this one as well. I guess I was looking for bright colors at the time that I did that. We have a nice little bow. So that is kit number 2. So hopefully with all these different choices, you'll see something that looks interesting to you. And each one does come with its own project bag. I'm trying to stack these in order. Oh, we have 5 kits. Okay. I did try to spread the money out into several smaller kits. So, yeah, I think we'll do this one next. I can't get away without a nature scene type thing. My flowers and butterflies. So I was actually surprised I got the money to spread this far. I may have purchased one of these. I'll have to go back and look. I may have purchased one of these with my own money to be able to get a feel for all the different artists. Now this one, the artist designer's name here is Enjoy. And again, you can probably find a lot of these on Etsy. We have a stitch count here, a little bit bigger, 153 by 231. And this is also a 14 count. So let's see what we got here. Yep, a little bit more floss involved with this one because it is a little bit bigger. And let's see how many colors we have with this one. Yep, more colors. So this one definitely bigger. We're seeing 115 different colors. So the blends start at 98 and go up, and we have a few different backstitch colors here. Actually, oh boy, okay. Have you ever seen that many backstitch symbols in one? Wow. I guess I didn't really notice that when I looked at the kit, but there are a lot of different colors of backstitch in this one. But aren't those flowers beautiful? So I'm not even going to try to count from this. Some of these are backstitch only with different numbers of strands. Some have both. So I think to get the number of DMC colors, we are going to indeed look at the floss card instead, but that's quite a few. So that 115 may not be quite as bad as it sounds because so many of these are backstitch. We only have full cross and backstitch. I don't see any half stitches or French knots on this one. But again, those back stitches are signs of hand-designed cross stitches. So there's a little piece of the butterfly here where you can see all the details with the back stitch, and there's some of the rows. So you definitely need to have the chart to do the back stitch on these. So let's take a look. And again, it is hard to get the full picture of how these look just based on the Ida cloth printing, because without the back stitch you aren't going to see all the detail. So this one, that's what I did. I picked this one as counted. You're going to see no detail. on this one. How's that for the detail? Yes, I picked a counted kit, so I could test that out as well. So you can see here, it is serged. We have a full piece of fabric here, but there is absolutely nothing on it. So the way you start a counted cross stitch is you find the center, and that's where you start on the chart, and that's how you make sure it fits evenly across the full piece of fabric without going off the edge. So this is a counted cross stitch. So fun, fun, fun. And here are all the beautiful colors here. Lots and lots of pinks and blues. And we were going to check. I'm starting to speed up because my phone is running out of charge. So I'm not going to be able to finish this. I'm going to have to stop at the end of this one and go charge my phone and be back. But I was curious how many colors. We can check that here real quick. So we do have 3 floss cards. So that's 60, 75, 82, 80, yes, 82 different DMC colors here, because there's 30, 60, there's another 15, and then those. So that comes to 82. So we do have spots to save blends on here, but that's quite a few colors, little bits of a lot of colors, but with that many different colors of backstitch, it's going to take a lot. See, lots of white and off-white in this one. So a lot lighter, a little bit more pastel-like, but this is how a counted cross stitch comes, and I probably overlooked that on here. It doesn't really say counted versus stamped, but I did purposely pick a counted so I could test that out, and I have a few more coming as well. So if you're a counted cross stitch fan, they've got you covered as well. So I'm gonna stop here and go charge my phone, and we'll be back with more. All right, let's see if we can finish this video. This is actually another day. So my phone lost its charge, and I decided to go ahead, plug it in, get it charged up. But then instead of finishing the video once it was charged, it was kind of late that night, I instead used that time to work on one of these. So this is our little bird here, the one I started with, and this so far has been a very fun stitch. So one of the things that's good about hand-charted designed kits is that you don't have as much confetti, and it's just a pleasure to stitch through this one. So here's what I got done so far. There it is on the back, so you can see. So this is 11 count. I did go ahead and use 4 strands because I do have DMC or DMC numbers. I have a full set of Painting Fairy plus DMC, and so if I do run out, I can always add a couple strands from my master set. So I would prefer to have the 4 strand coverage, but I still have plenty, haven't even run close to running low on any colors, and there's not very much of any individual color on here. But this fabric is great, really nice and soft. It's been a fun little stitch. So there's that one. And I also double checked on their website. They've added a bunch more kits, including Painting Fairy kits. So if you sort them by price, high to low, the higher priced ones are a lot of the Painting Fairy, and they only come in 14 and 16 count. But if you sort the other direction, low to high, you'll find a lot of the Etsy shop and other designers, like some of these smaller kits here. We left off on this one, which was a counted, and we've done this one as well. So we have 2 more to look at. So we're gonna keep going. But the one company I couldn't think the name of at the very start that I noticed on there that I really like is Stitching Land. But they have continued to add new ones, and the prices, this bird was $9.90, and the mushroom house, I believe, was also $9.90 or something like that. This one, since it's bigger, it was a little bit more. I think this one was in the $22 range or $25 range, somewhere in there. So we're gonna look at another small one. This one was one of the $9.90 ones, and this is from the artist Joe Cart. And there are a bunch of his different dragons, his or her different dragons on there. I picked Fire Dragon because my kiddo's friend is really into Charizard and Fire Pokemon, and the Fire Dragon just reminded me a little bit of that. So this again has a designer here, Jokart 176 by 113, so it's a little bit smaller. I picked the 16 count for this one. I tried to vary what I was picking, but as you can see, my money went really far. These are really good prices since you get the project bag, the nice cotton floss, the printed fabric, and the printed fab pattern. Can't talk today. So here's a chart for this one. Not nearly as many colors here. We have 30 colors and no blends, but it looks like from the picture there's going to be a fair amount of backstitch maybe on this one. Actually, there's not. Interesting. So I thought that some of the detail might have to be backstitch, but it looks like it's actually cross-stitched through there with the black outlines. So there is no backstitch listed on this, only full stitch. So here's the chart, a little peek at it. And we'll look at the fabric here. So this one is a little bit smaller, again, because it's a 16 count there. So here's the print on there, so you can see how clear that is. And he's just really cute, but he's a bit easier even for a hand-charted kit because there is no backstitch. So if you're not a fan of backstitch, this may be one that you might want to try out. But there are several in the set. I just picked one for now, but it looks really simple. Not a ton of confetti, not a ton of colors as well. Of course, we have our floss here. And yellow card seems to be the thing that they're using. I'm not sure. Let me get this open first and then start talking. I'm not sure if the yellow floss cards are going to stay since they're new, if they're going to switch them out, but yellow's a cool color. So here we go, we got our ribbon. We have lots of oranges and reds and purples based on the fire dragon look there, so you'd expect that. And a lot of black because this is kind of that stained glass or coloring book art style. Not really stained glass because there's no background, but coloring book style where you have black outlining on everything. But instead of it being backstitch, it is just regular stitching. So there is quite a bit of black. So with 16 count, this is a good one for 16 count because with 2 strands of floss, there should be really good coverage on this. So that is our last one that I purchased, and then they gave me a freebie, and we'll do that one last here. So we had actually 4th. So with the little budget they gave me, I was able to get 4. This one, the bird, which was 11 count. This counted cross stitch, which was 14 count. And then this one, which was 14 count. So my money went really far. And then we got a freebie here. And since other content creators have been showing this one, I won't go into a whole lot of detail. But this one is a little one, 71 by 90. It's actually pretty cheap on their website, but I almost bought it. So I'm glad I didn't, because when I placed my last order, I think I have like 3 orders now outstanding from them because I really, really like their quality and everything. Anyway, I almost bought this one, so I'm glad I didn't because this was a freebie. They gave me the 16 count version, and it's pretty small here, as you can tell. But one thing you'll notice is all that stitching there with that one purple diagonal symbol, that is all white. So what I might do with this one, because other content creators have been talking about that as well, it's white fabric. So we got a lot of white and just a few other colors here. I think I'm going to put it on different fabric. So even though this one does come with the stamped fabric here, I think I'm going to use this for something else and maybe wash it and use it for Christmas ornaments or something else small, because I think with all that white, this would be really cool on one of their modeled fabric pieces that I have, the different colored fabric that I've bought from Dream Stitch and also Painting Fairy, and they sell it as well, the different random colored fabric. So I think maybe a blue would be really good with this. I'll have to look through my stash. I may have a green as well, but I think I would like to stitch this on another piece of fabric, and that way I can stitch the white on the kitties and have a different color background. I think that would look really cool, but I think it's a really cute design here with the kitties on the Christmas tree shape. But as you can see here, not a ton of colors. We have a lot of solid cross stitch, couple half stitches, some quarter stitches in there to give a little detail, and a French knot, and 2 different colors here. Actually, same color 310 with 2 different number of strands of back stitch. So black for the French knot and the back stitch. So the French knot will be the eyes of the kitties, and then the black outline. So not a whole lot of colors with this one, so I think it might be kind of fun to use one of those pieces of fabric that I have and give it a really cool background to help it stand out. So this is one that's available, and it is a really good price and not too big here. And if you wanted to not use your own fabric, you can see the little dots there for the French knots. If you wanted to use this, you could even opt to not stitch the white at all and just have the Ida cloth background there. Then it wouldn't take very long at all to stitch this one, because you'd just be doing the kitty highlights there, the hats, the heads of the ones that have a little bit of gray and brownish color on them, the little red highlights, and do the back stitching and not have to worry about all that white stitching. So it would be a really quick and easy Christmas gift because it's not too big. And when you wash this, all that ink goes away. So if you chose not to stitch all the white, it would be perfectly fine when you finished it. So that's really cute. So thank you to 121Stitch for all these goodies. It was really fun shopping on there. I'm going to have some of the kits from Stitching Land and some of the others that I've purchased. I think I got another dragon. I'm not even sure anymore. I did get one of the Christmas cookies deals that they have going right now. Those kits are $29, I believe, for 2 different Christmas cookie ones, and then they have a giant one, but that giant one is $99. But I went for one of the smaller ones, as well as a tiny gingerbread cookie that I found on the site. So I really recommend checking them out, especially if you prefer counted cross stitch and you want to support artists and get licensed artwork from these designers, because I think it really does make a difference when you're stitching. It is really enjoyable to stitch something that is completely hand rendered and purposely designed by a person rather than a computer. So I'm really looking forward to continuing to work on this one. Love the rainbow colors on that one. And then we have our little mushroom house with the lighthouse. That's going to be fun. This may have to be a Christmas present for a future time, because I don't think at first when I picked it out I thought it could be a Christmas present, but there's a lot of stitching there to do, and I really want to try the counted cross stitch here and reading the chart and all that. I may be able to scan it and put it in Pattern Keeper, but it's kind of a smaller design here, so I'm not too worried about it, but I love the colors on this one. So this is 121Stitch. I have an affiliate link, so I do appreciate that. If you choose to use my code or another content creator out there, feel free to do so. And I do have my 5% discount code available as well for you, so you can save a little bit of extra money. And check out the ones that they have on sale. They have all the tools, all the floss, all the goodies that Painting Fairy does, and even some Painting Fairy artwork. You can do all your purchases at once in there and support both shops. So thank you for watching, and I hope you saw something here that you like, and check them out, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.